Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about my 20 best products from my 20 indie brands. I had previously done a similar video with all the drugstore brands in my mind. So I really thought that because there are so many indie brands out in the market, which are like the best of the best to try, and this video would be helpful for you guys if you are interested in like trying out indie brands. So yes, if you are ready, let's begin. I'm going to do it in the order of application the way I did it on my face because I did a lot, and I'll show you clips and bits and pieces when I did my makeup also for you guys. This face that you see is all achieved by the products that I'm going to talk about. So let's begin. The first brand that I have to talk about is iMethod Beauty. Now I have actually mentioned about this brand and like made 2 videos I think on this, but specifically I did make a video on like the brow stamp. This has definitely not failed me a bit. I absolutely love this product. Like for a quick brow routine under 10 seconds, you can achieve like this brow that you can see. And this is in the shade number 2. I'm pretty sure it's like brown black. I'll link everything in the description box below for you guys. Basically, you need like a stencil and this brow stamp. You put the stencil, stamp it on, and your brow is ready. I personally feel like to finish off the brow, I just take a brow pencil and I just flick the inner third of my brow just so that I get that more like feathered look, but I don't have to fuss about any of the rest of the brow. And for that reason, this is like definitely my must-have product from one of the indie brands, and that's iMethod Beauty. This has become so handy for me, especially when I go to office. In the morning, I don't want to fuss with my brows, and I just take the stencil, stamp it on, and my brow is ready. I love that product. Now let's move on to the foundation, and the brand that I'm talking about is Dominique, and this is their Vision Cream Cover 2-in-1 foundation plus concealer, and I have mine in the shade N06. This is my perfect shade. I am a little tan right now. That's why this might like seem like a 1 shade lighter on me, but I can like make it work. This is a beautiful neutral tone foundation. This is like my all over foundation. You need the slightest bit, and this will cover everything on your face. This is a full coverage product, so definitely do go with a light hand after you've like moisturized your skin, because this would look flawless on your skin. And I cannot rave more about this because this has been like my standout product from last year, and it still holds the same. I absolutely love this product. And of course, if you go with like a little more product, you can definitely cover everything under your eyes, everything on your face. So this is definitely one best product that I can find from Dominique. I do love their balm powder also, but this is like my favorite product. Okay, now let's talk about another stick foundation. This is Minimalist from Merit Beauty. I again have done like dedicated video on Merit Beauty before, talking about like my favorite products from them. This is definitely the standout product from them, I would say, and I use this underneath my eyes today as a concealer. Again, this product, you can use it as a foundation and a concealer, but this product definitely is more of like a skin-like finish, whereas the Dominique one was like a full coverage product. And you can see it blends seamlessly into your skin. If I'm going for a no makeup look, I just wear this all over my face and blend it, and it evens out my skin tone like so seamlessly, and I love this product for that. I love the packaging of it. It's absolutely luxe. You can see the bullet packaging, and by the way, in this I am in the shade Buff. Okay, now let's talk about the under eye setting powder. If you have been on my channel, you know how much I love this loose setting powder, and this is from One Size Beauty, and this is their translucent setting powder. I have a tiny version of this. I have like 3 of them with me, like in this tiny version, just because Sephora always comes out with like a perk of getting this free with like a $25 purchase or something. And if I am buying anything worth $25, this is landing in my cart. I love to travel with this. I basically sparingly use this towards my T-zone so that it just smooths out everything, every wrinkle, everything underneath the eyes, and gives like a smooth canvas on the face. And you can see like this is so finely milled. You just have to like press it underneath your eyes, and it just like smooths out everything. I love this product with my whole heart, and I cannot recommend this enough. If you have texture on your skin, you need this. Okay, now let's talk about my cream bronzer that I have worn. I have actually two cream bronzers to talk about. One is from Bel Cosmetics. And I only applied the bronzer, but I have to say, anything in this stick format is their standout product. I have their So Soft Face Play, and this is the cream bronzer in the shade Nomadic. This is what I have on the perimeters of my face, but I also love their cream blush in the shade So Soft Lychee, which is more of like a peachy shade. I often use this all the time on my channel, so I thought of like using this I use this also always on my channel, but I wanted to show like a cream contour product for like medium to tan skin tones, and this blends beautifully. 2 or 3 taps on your face and it just blends by itself. That's how pigmented and how seamlessly it can blend into your skin. It's beautiful. Like, if I have to recommend like one thing from Bel Cosmetics, although I love a lot of products from Bel Cosmetics, I would definitely recommend these stick products. The next bronzer that I have to talk about is from Half Caked Beauty, and this is their Candy Paint Cream Bronzer, and this one is in the shade North Shore, and you can see like a big dent going on in this bronzer, and that's because I absolutely love this. And this seems like super deep, which it is, but it blends so nicely onto your skin, and these are not expensive at all. They have cream blushes also, which I absolutely love, but my standout product, I would say, is their cream bronzers. I'm not a big fan of their highlighters, like the cream highlighters, but their cream blushes and the cream bronzers are like top-notch quality. Absolutely love them. Again, this one is in the shade North Shore. And when I compare this and this, I would say this gives more of like a soft matte finish on the face, whereas the Candy Paint one is more like a satin finish. It gives a little more of like a natural finish on the face, and this is definitely a little more on like a warmer tone side, rather than this is definitely more on like a neutral cool tone side. Okay, so after we have those cream bronzers on, let's move on to the cream blush. The cream blush that I'm using is from Dalton Beauty. You know how much I love this, and this is in the shade Popstar Peach. I have 8 of them with me, several different colors, but this formula is absolutely stunning. If I have to recommend one thing from Dalton Beauty, I would definitely recommend their Hydrogel Cream Balm, because this is a beautiful, it just blends onto your skin like a dream. I've traveled with this product so many places. I love this. I absolutely love this. Definitely one of the standout products of cream blushes in my collection. I would definitely recommend Dalton Beauty. Okay, now moving on to the pressed powder products. I absolutely love LYS Beauty's translucent setting powder, and this one is in the shade Resilience. This is my favorite under eye setting powder. If you want something in like a pressed format, I would highly recommend this. This again smooths out every texture that you have on your skin. It's such a beautifully milled powder, and the ingredients are so clean. This is a clean beauty brand found in Sephora and on lysbeauty.com, and it's a black owned beauty brand, so I love supporting those women owned beauty brands. I love it. I absolutely love Trisha as like a owner. She's absolutely beautiful. Such a beautiful person inside out. Love her. Absolutely love her. So I definitely wanted to recommend LYS Beauty's pressed powder, but I love their blushes. I have just ordered her cream bronzer. It is going to arrive today, and I'm going to make a video pretty soon, but I'm so sure that I'm going to love that product also. Fingers crossed. I've never been like disappointed with LYS Beauty, so I have high hopes for that. Okay, talking about another pressed powder for all over your face. If you want your pressed powder not to feel matte on your skin, and you don't want like that powdery finish on your face, you would definitely need to try this. And this is from Kosas, and this is their Cloud Set powder, and mine is in the shade Comfy. Mine is broken, I know, I dropped it. And I have not like wasted that. Whatever I dropped, I collected everything and made it like into a loose setting powder, and I have that in another container, which I use always underneath my eyes. Like, this is such a beautiful creamy powder. It doesn't even feel like powder when you're setting with this powder. So if you are a dry skin person, I would highly recommend this. It sets your face but doesn't feel like it, because you still have those like natural glow on your skin. from whatever you're wearing underneath. Like I absolutely love this. It was a very confusing product in the beginning because I was like, I can see all the, the natural sheen on my face, but it feels set. What kind of a product is this? But this smooths out everything. It is so beautiful. You need to test this out, especially if you're like normal to dry skin person and you stay away from powders. Test this out. You will thank me later, I know. Okay, now let's move on to highlighters. If I have to recommend one thing from Makeup by Mario, it's going to be his pressed highlighters, and this is their soft glow highlighter in the shade Golden. This is my favorite. I have been raving about this product like a broken record. Like I absolutely love this product. If you have been with me the entire last year, I was just raving about this and using this everywhere. Like I absolutely love this powder, especially if you are like medium to tan skin tone person. You need Golden in your life. You would absolutely fall bananas over this. Like I love this product. But also, if I have to talk like one product from Jaclyn Cosmetics, that is also their highlighters, and I have this one in the shade Mesmerize, and this is more of like a peachy golden tone highlighter, I would say. Very close to Champagne Pop from Becca that she released. So I would say if you are missing on Champagne Pop, go with this. You would absolutely love it. I love her highlighters. I have Iced as well as Mesmerized, but for my skin tone right now, I would definitely suggest Mesmerized over Iced. Okay, now let's talk about Tower 28. I love their cream blushes, but their standout product for me is their lip glosses. And this is their lip jellies. I have several of them with me. Two of them right in front of me. This one is in the shade Coconut, and this one is in the shade Cashew, which is more of a nudie. I have actually coconut on my lips today, right in the center, and you can see the gloss, the shine it gives. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a very non-sticky formula, but the shine on it just plumps your lip like no other. It doesn't tingle or do anything. It just gives that juicy look on your lips. If you are a gloss person, you need to try this. I know that you'll fall in love with this. So I would highly recommend Tower 28 lip jellies. On my lips, I actually do have Makeup by Mario's lipstick also in the shade Fanda, which is also one of my favorite products. So I definitely wanted to mention that also in this video, but I've already mentioned Makeup by Mario. So yeah, this would be like my second favorite, I would say. Also my favorite, I would say. Okay, let's move on to like palette forms. I definitely want to suggest Cosmetics, specifically their Beautopsy palette. This is like my everyday palette that you need. Like if you are a neutral person, you don't need anything else. And these powders blend like a dream. If you stay away from like eyeshadows that are super pigmented, you don't want to fuss with like high pigment eyeshadows, this would be your best friend. This gives like a right amount of pigment, and these are buildable. You would not find any harsh lines on your eyes. If I have any kind of harsh edges on my eye look, I basically always dip into this powder. I go into this and I just blend the edges and just smooths out everything. And I use that like second row for my under eye setting powder also. This is like a face powder too. I absolutely love it. I use this as like my setting powder, this as like my crease shade, this as like a blush, and you can like mix and match so many things as your bronzer. This can like do your entire face. If you are like a matte person, you would absolutely love it, and it has a huge mirror too. Yeah, the packaging is sleek. I know it's a little expensive, but this is definitely beginner friendly palette, I would say. So I would highly recommend this. Okay, now if you are a blush person and you need like one blush palette in your collection, I would highly recommend Lunar Beauty, and this is their Moon Prism blush palette. Definitely my favorite out of the two blush palettes that he has. And this is the color story. You definitely don't need anything else in your collection if you have this. Like if you want just one blush palette for your entire collection, you just need this. And I love this with my whole heart. This blends like a dream. I actually have this on my crease today, just to blend those like jewel tone shades. And I also have this lighter pink and this on my cheeks just to set that cream blush in place. So I use this constantly, and this goes with me everywhere. So I love it. Okay, now let's talk about eyeshadow palettes, because indie brands does eyeshadow palettes the best. Like I have no doubts about it. I have fallen in love with indie brands for their eyeshadow formulas, and I cannot wait to share the best of the best with you guys. Okay, let's first talk about It's Bel Cosmetics. The Flare Collection Remix palette, I also have their Break the Rules palette, but this is definitely one of my favorites out of the two that I have. And this is how the color scheme is. If you want like special shades in your collection, I would say start with this. This is beautiful formulas, sparkly, shifty, duochrome, multi-chrome shades. You need like one single shade all over your lid and any matte on the crease and your look is done. And it feels like you have put so much effort into that eye look. It's just stunning and beautiful. I love all shimmer palettes, especially from indie brands when they do that, because I have like a million matte shadows in my collection and I don't need any more. But indie does some special shadows so well, and It's Bel Cosmetics is right there on the top. So I definitely recommend It's Bel Cosmetics. I also have like an affiliate code with them if you want to try this out. I think it's Smithy Sony. Not sure about it. I'll leave it in the description box below if you want like an additional 10% off on your entire purchase. Highly would recommend it. Okay, next let's talk about Glam Light. I mean, I could not pick a palette. I have several of them. I have Dirty Martini, I have Chocolate Martini, I have Michaela palette. But I would say if you're a neutral person, I would highly recommend the Chocolate Martini palette. This definitely looks basic, but is not. You can do so much with this, especially if you are a neutral person that leans a little more on the pinky side or a little more on the warm tone side. You would absolutely love it. By the way, you can do like warm tone looks, cool tone looks, neutral looks with this shades. And I love that they have included like pop of two shades, this purpley blue shifty shade and this like orange shade. It is so beautiful addition to the palettes. You can go bronzy with it, you can go coppery with this, you can do like chocolatey tones, you can do mauvey tones, you can do simple like pinky tone looks. It is stunning and I would highly recommend this palette. But let's say if you are a colorful palette lover, if you love to wear colors on your eyes, you need to try Michaela palette from Glam Light. I am not even a color person, but this is definitely one of my favorite rainbow palettes that I have in my collection. This is not like rainbow, but I think the colors, the shades that she's been like chosen for this palette is absolutely breathtaking. She's gone from like neutral to colorful in that format, and I have like constantly raved about this palette. I am absolutely comfortable with these 3 rows. I get a little more out of zone when I go to these 2 bottom rows. I'm comfortable with purples, like that's like my comfort zone. But when it comes to greens, blues and these yellows, and oh my god, I get so nervous. But I have loved each and every look that I've created with this palette. I've actually done like 5 looks using this palette on my channel. I'll link it in the iCards above if you want to check it out. But this palette is a beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I would highly recommend it. Okay, now if you want to experiment with colors, but you don't want to go that colorful, I would highly suggest the Tiny Marvels palette from Sydney Grace. The quality, the blendability, the smoothness of these eyeshadow is to another level. This is again a colorful palette, but in a wearable format, I would say. I would say the only thing that like I'm not comfortable with is that center green shade, but still you can make that work because there are shades to like ground those like bright shades down. And I am so comfortable with this like peachy salmon shade and this lavender shade after I tried this palette. Before that, I used to like go away from like this 4 shades is like my outside my comfort zone, but I have fallen in love with this entire palette, I would say, and the quality is absolutely top notch. This is like my overall like all-rounded palette, I would say. Mel absolutely killed it with this palette and I cannot thank her enough for this palette. I love to cherish this palette. I always get a smile on my face and a lot of other feelings. I always think of Mel whenever I see this palette in my collection, and yeah, I love her. Yeah. Now let's talk about another eyeshadow palette whose formula is absolutely top-notch quality, and that's Dominique Cosmetics. And I'm going to talk about their Latte palette because this is my favorite. And I love that this is an all-rounded palette. She has like beautiful neutral tones and pop of 3 colors on this side of the palette. She has a beautiful like a muted blue, a muted purple and a muted orange. And that can take this palette to entire different direction. And I love that thing about this palette. This palette is definitely a matte heavy palette, but the 3 shimmers that she's chosen goes with the entire color story. I absolutely love this. The quality is so beautiful, so buildable, so blendable. Love it. Like, this was my number one palette for last year because I tested this out last year. When I start using this, I cannot stop using. That's the problem with this palette, you know? Yeah. Okay, now there's two more brands to talk about. Let's talk about Sugar Drizzle. This is a very recent palette in my collection, but I could not stop using this. I have one of the shades on my lids today, and I'm using the shade Pond right in the center of my eye. And I have this shade, which is Camouflage, on my inner third, like a dot of that on my inner corners. And that's all that I've used from this palette. And I love it. Like, I love this palette. This and that It's Bel Cosmetics palette. Like, the formula is very, very similar, I would say. Depending on what color story speaks to you, just go with that palette and you would not be disappointed, I would say. This palette also has like two black based multichromes, and that's Hopalong and MILF. And you can see like the shades shift in the pan itself. That's how shifty they are. Like, it goes from green to purple to blue. And this goes from like a gold to a green to an emerald green. Oh my God, I cannot. This is stunning, like absolutely stunning. Cannot recommend this enough. And look at the artwork. So cute, so cute. The last brand that I have to recommend is Odin's Eye. Can an indie brand video be complete without mentioning Odin's Eye? Because I absolutely love the eyeshadow palettes that I have from Odin's Eye. And this being like the most unique palette in my collection. This is the Giant Worlds palette that Annette created with Odin's Eye Cosmetics. If I want something unique on my eyes, this is definitely going on my eyes. I only have this shade on my crease and on the inner and the outer corners, and I just deepened it out with this shade, which is called Cosmos, right in the inner and the outer corners. That blue that you see, that's it. And I have that one shimmer shade from the Sugar Drizzle palette right in the center. Oh my God. And look how dimensional that eye look is. I cannot recommend this enough. Any eyeshadow palette from Odin's Eye, I don't think you'll be disappointed. I have the Red Dragon palette, I have the Hummingbird palette, I have this. I cannot. And I love all of them, like all of them. I could not choose one, but I thought of like going to a route which is like super unique in my collection, and this is super unique in my collection. So that's all for this indie makeup video. I really hope that these products, if you've not tried already and you were like eyeing some of these products, I would say definitely go for these, because these are like the best of the best in my collection. I cannot recommend enough of these products because I love them so very much, and I only chose the products that I absolutely love to recommend to you guys. I loved filming this video for you guys. If you did like this video, and if you have some favorites from the indie brands, definitely do let me know in the comment section below. And if you did like this video, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesday, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.